Okay, so the topic is today quite interesting, and the topic is recession. So we all are hearing this term every other day. You have heard multiple news about it, right? So you have to broadcast or you guys to brainstorm number of ideas, like what is recession all about? Now, understand the topic. The topic is just recession. Whosoever goes for introduction, I'm giving you some of the tips. You have to give clarification of this term. What does this term means? And what is, you can say, mark different dimension. What is the perspective? Why recession is taking place? You can even think about it. What are the drawbacks of recession? What is the, you can say, even someone counts it as a positive impact. What can be the positive impact? How can you limit it out period? And even you can brief out some of the examples. So it's quite interesting topic and something you are hearing on the Instagram, Google News every other passing day. You're hearing lots of news related to it, with lots of, you can say, new industries during this recession period. And why this recession period actually took place, that is also a point of discussion. Okay, so there are multiple ideas. Who wants to go for introduction? Who wants to go for introduction today? Shivam, no?
Conclusion part I want to today.
Okay, you want to go conclusion? Okay. Who is going for this introduction?
Ma'am, can I start?
Yeah, Somle, you can. I'm giving you 2-3 minutes to brainstorm your ideas. Note as much as you can, right? And the way I told you, go for shorter points. Don't go for very elaborative points. Go for some examples. Your examples needs to be justified. Hear each other attentively. When someone is bringing some concept, you have to add on at that very time. Don't add 10 minutes later that the same point is there. Okay. So what are the drawbacks and what recession has taken place? Why? This is something very interesting and I want to hear very relevant and good points from you all. Okay. So go for this interesting period. It's 7:17 my side. I'll start at 7:19. 2 minutes for you. Okay, yeah, I guess everyone is ready. Before that, I just give you a brief of it again. So I'm going to just start with a generic introduction. The idea should be very generic. Okay, you don't have to counter out any part. Then you have to give your pointer, like you add your dimension. Shivam, listen carefully to each and everyone's point. The conclusion should be which is giving attention, paving ways to everyone's viewpoint, and how you have to summarize it. It's on your part, right? But go for a generic ones and don't put any kind of a legal or you can say political demarcations which have a controversial perspective, right? I always say you don't add any of the controversial point in your discussion. Go ahead now, Somlay, you can start.
Good evening, respected panel members and my friends. Today, I myself Shomallo Mitra going to present my views upon the topic, that is recession. Recession, as we see in recent news, that it has taken a hit on the world, and mostly the tech giants, which are the companies, have been laying off a certain fraction of their workforces since a lot since some time for now. Now, I would like to stress that why recession occurs. Now, mainly it can be observed as an after effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the offices used to mainly operate on a work from home basis, and they used to save their logistic costs, that is the electricity costs and the normal office cost. And then they may what did they do? That is, they mainly overhired candidates from their normal operating capacity. And now, as the things are returning back to normalcy, what they're observing is that mainly for the companies, what is the main objective? That is making an exorbitant amount of profit. So whatever it is not coming under their profits, so they are now looking to slash their workforce by some fraction, and thereby trying to maintain that same level of profits. And also they are doing on the basis of that the mainly the acts of recession has fallen on the experienced, or or some people who have spent a lot of time in the industry, like a person working for an XYZ company uh, found that while taking an HR interview, he got the same mail in his device that he was laid off. So I think that companies from here should be a slightly bit of their approaches should take a bit more uh, worker friendly approach from here. So Bhaskar, can you suggest some points on this?
Thank you, Somallo, for giving me the opportunity to speak. And yeah, I completely agree with all your points, what you have said. Yeah, the main effect for this recession was the main cause for this recession, I think, was the after effect of the COVID-19, what you said. And I have also seen that a certain company has laid over almost some certain thousands of their employees, because they were found of doing moonlighting. So I think that this can be one of the cause of the recession, and also the overhiring cause, that many companies don't carefully hire candidates at first. Later they think that these candidates should be removed, and that's why they send them mails after hiring them that sorry, we are unable to take you further in our company. So
Yes, my friend, I ask basically add to your point also. Like for example, Facebook basically उन्होंने काफी लोगों की जॉब हटा दी है because of that. Because after COVID जो लोगों की thought process थी और thinking थी वो basically change हो गई, and जो technology थी वो नई develop हो गई. Like many of the people are shifted towards Instagram and other platforms rather than using just Facebook, and the technology also upgraded little by little. So by that also the many members of the Facebooks are also basically उनको निकाल दिया गया है. And the another point I also add to this is because of developing AI, the artificial intelligence as increasing. So उनकी वजह से जो हो रहा है, जो जॉब्स हैं वो ज्यादा लोगों को निकाले जा रहे हैं जॉब से, क्योंकि AI ज्यादा efficient और अच्छा काम कर पा रहा है.
Like I would like to say something like this recession is not only related to job actually. So actually, what's the meaning of recession? Recession is something which is a significant decline in economic activity of a country or anything. So if you take a country, if there was a significant decrease in the economic activity in terms of GDP or so, It was called a, then we say that country went into a recession. So if you say, if you take an example of an US also, US faced a recession because of its continuous contraction of GDP from its past 2 quarters. So as all are discussing about the jobs only, it is not only related to the jobs, it is also related to the economy, how it was impacted, economy and the nations, how it was impacted. I would say one of the factor was GDP was a factor, and another factor was like inflation was the main factor. What is happening here was like when people purchase power decreases, inflation rate increases according to it. When inflation rate increases, what happens automatically? All banks try to increase the interest rates. Because of increasing the interest rates, what happens, economic banks can't able to bear that much amount of burden, so that the country goes into a recession. So recession is not only related to job, but also it also related to the country's economic condition also. That's the recession. And as Shivam said that there was a point that AI is creating recession. I don't think so. Artificial intelligence doesn't create recession. Artificial intelligence is only meant for like how to say, it is just a supporting thing. I think artificial intelligence doesn't have any relation with recession actually. Recession is something which is related to the downtrend of economic activity of a country or something. The point that you are discussing was the effects of recession which was happening actually. That is
So
the
I
thing.
would
Effects
like
of
to add, yes.
okay.
So I would like to add to you that you added a new dimension to our discussion. In same way, I would like to add that we were talking that COVID had an impact and led to recession, but also now the current situation was Russian-Ukraine war, which had an impact on our energy and commodity price, which has led to an inflation and thus recession, as you said that inflation is also a cause of it. So this, and in my opinion, this is also a cause which happened in recent time for the recession.
Yeah, that was also one point. And another point I would like to say was like the impact of recession happening was like not because of COVID. It is because of after effects of COVID happened. The recession didn't come in the period of COVID actually. It came after the period of COVID. What I think this recession term came into presence, I think, from the period of October 2020. What happened actually when COVID came, all banks tried to reduce the interest rate so that uh, economy would come into the trend. After decreasing of this interest rates also, at one particular point of time, money was infused into the economy, so that what happened, people can't afford to buy things, so that the rate of inflation was increasing, the rate was increased. I think that not because of COVID recession came, it was after effects of COVID recession came. That was the main
Now,
thing, not because
here,
of COVID.
yes, sir. Thanks, Heman, for your points.
I
So
would like
now
to
I
add
would
some
like
more
to,
points.
yes, go ahead.
As you all said, recession is something which slow down the economy. The slowdown is because as during the COVID, there was an excessive consumption of the technology as well as the what you can say daily needs. So so after the as when so the after when the market what you can say opened, the people get more diverted from the which mass hiring came. The people get diverted so that the degree that much amount which got up, that much same amount got decreased, and the now the point has came that many what we can say uh, uh, many other uh, uh, sorry, I would like to uh,
Yes,
so
here,
in
so I would like to add some point, that is that recession may also occur if for a certain change in the policy of the company. For example, when you have a good workforce or a leading group in a company initially, and then a new board of directors take charge of the company, then if it tries to change the policies of the company without by completely in a non-scientific way, just in order to increase the profit and without looking into the welfare of the employees, etc., then also recession may occur. That is, if That is, for example, if you try to slash the workforce and look for the sole goal, that is to increase the profit, automatically it will not. Companies should also look to the corporate social relationships, those aspects or those other aspects, rather than just for its own self goals. So that
Yes,
is.
but if the
As
company
Hemant, you
profits
said
are
that.
falling, then then that leads to layoffs. So I think company is also in some type of binding at that point. Yes, yes, Shivam, go ahead.
Yeah, as you Hemant said that the because of that you are right, but there are other factors also like after COVID the technology aspect the technical aspect is growing much faster than before COVID. So because of technical aspect is going more and more forward, people are not able to grasp that particular knowledge that computer are able to do lot of work more than the human being can do. So because of also that the basically small peoples that are not capable of doing and improving that much faster that are basically have to remove from job.
Yeah,
So
another
according to me, the as you said, the causes are. I agree with all the causes that you said about recession, but according to me, these are the important causes. But there are very big impacts of recession also, and the biggest negative impact, as all of us discussed, is about lose of jobs, and so many things gone online. So many job models have changed, and people got to experience a new model of working, and this led to another positive impact, like people people lose their job, but also started something on their own, and tried to convert that opportunity to be in the lead of the market. And many people have also suggested that rather than going to 9 to 5 job, they started their own, and they are increasing in their field.
Yes,
Yes,
Aditi,
I
that
agree
as we
with
see that the new startup in India is also increasing day by day, and many people are very enthusiastic towards their own startup rather than 9 to 9 jobs.
Yes, so I also agree with Aditi about the point of startups. And I would like to add this new dimension of the impact of recession on the public, because recession is thought of a long term effect. And in long term, there is a major effect on the housing sector. There is a collapsing of housing sector, that is, the prices rise too much, and that is a direct effect on the public. So this is also an area where we can discuss more.
So now I think instead of focusing on what are the impacts of recession, and now I would like to suggest some measures, that is how we can overcome the effect. That is the manufacturing sector. In the recent past, there have been a lot of efforts to improve the India startup culture, to make India in to better in the ease of doing business, to convert India into a technical hub. But one should also now focus on the manufacturing sector, that India has enormous yeah, potential to develop. So, and manufacturing sectors are those sectors which are related to direct creation of jobs. So, I think to overcome issues such as recession and and to prevent any such collapse of the workforce, one should there should be significant effort from the governments or to uh, improve the manufacturing sector.
I would like to add that already government is taking some steps such as the PLI scheme. There is much more plays an important role. It has decreased the what you can say ma- process of setting and manufacturing factory from other country, and also the budget which was 2023, which was Amrut Kal what we can say Amrut Kal budget, that in that budget also it has said that main focus was on the what you can say diversification and what you can say MESPs, micro small medium enterprises, both were on the major focus as well. And we are talking about recession. I would say it is a transition period. Why? Because the same recession which was happened in 2008 during the under the government of the what you can say, under the leadership of the finance minister, which was Sri Manmohan Singh Modi, Manmohan Singh, which in which he has taken that LPG reforms, that is more globalization about the economy. I think these in this way government is helping. We can't say that it should help. It is already in taking place on ground as well.
Yes, my friend, I can add to your point. Like this year also, the government also introduced new jobs. Like from the previous year, it done 4x time more jobs than the previous years. The government is opening new jobs for the our to make to get more jobs in the government sector also.
I think one way to overcome recession can be development of skills in various dimensions also. Like if a person loses job in one sector, he should have certain skills, or he should develop certain skills so that he can try in other sectors and can succeed in that. So our skill development can be one of the way.
Yes, I agree with you, Askar. The skill development is very necessary uh, because if, as Shivam suggested earlier, that AI tools are increasing, but humans should be capable of handling it also. Uh, so this can be a
I
positive,
think
that in recession people also shifted to new domains.
the AI, as you said, AI
I
doesn't decrease the job opportunity. It has increased the job opportunities. Why? Because
It's depend on.
in short term,
I'm
in
disturbing you,
short
but
term, in short
I'm
term, I
adding to your
agree that
point.
it has been replaced. But as the automation increases, the production increases, the consumption also increases. In the long run, it has increased. What you can say, in the long term, as company expands, again the hiring starts as well.
Sorry, my friend, we can't interpret it right now because we AIR still is now in not that particular stage that to interpret after 10 years and 5 years. After 10 years, maybe it's good for and open new jobs, or maybe not. So we can't interpret it now or today.
One
But
thing
till
I
now,
was
we
to
are
point that skill development, someone said that skill development reduces the recession. I think it is not a fair statement to say, because if you have even more skills also, many of the people didn't get job. And also in the recent recession also, the person who had more kind of skills got cut from his job. I think skill development doesn't guarantee that recession would decrease,
No,
because
actually, I am saying that skill development doesn't mean that recession won't occur. I am saying that if a person loses job in a certain domain, if he has a if he has good skills, he can apply in other domains also and succeed in that sector also. I am telling
yeah, but if
about this.
other sectors is also facing recession, how can companies appoint him if, even though if he has skills? It all depends on how recession would come under control. If there was a recession, all sectors would be affected. Even though if he develop his skills in other sectors also, there is no point, because the company need to bear on him now, because of this recession. What was happening, primary cost of materials and everything was increasing. If primary cost increases, company's profit would come decrease. So to maintain the profits, what company would do, they would try to remove the skilled persons also. So all sectors affect the recession. So I don't think so, like skill development doesn't mean recession would decrease, because every sector is facing recession, right? That's the point.
I can
Uh,
basically change the line and say that don't go for many skills, just go for upcoming new skills which are new introducing. So you are not be the part of recession.
But here, right now, we are talking only with the perspective of jobs and companies. We are not thinking about the perspective of a simple man living a simple life. What he should do to get saved from the recession effects. He should not be selling his stocks and property when the recession comes in, and not make a hasty decision. He should not acquire new debts, and he should be now starting to save a lot, so that if in case he loses his job, then he has adequate savings to think of the future.
I think Indian population was way advanced in this kind of concepts actually, because the most of the population, according to a survey, they have keeping their 50% of their salary into the savings, so that in future, if any kind of this recession comes, they would take from their savings. It is in the case of only India, not in case of other countries.
Let us think about the rural
Uh,
areas
yeah,
also,
rural
and
areas. Yeah.
everyone. Like
Hmm.
I've given a generalized, we are very judicious, but some people are not very educated in
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
matters. So awareness is a thing which
Yeah.
we can do. Yes.
Any other point left?
Ma'am, like recession can have some kind of positive impact also. Like it gives some opportunities for investments also when it comes to financial markets. Because of this recession, there could be corrections in some kind of financial markets, so that uh, it gives some opportunity for entrepreneurships also. So there is only some advantages. One of the advantage can be this one, I think.
One of the advantages also is like it remove the old ones and give the new opportunities to new ones, and the upcoming new technologies also.
Yeah.
I would say the indirect advantage also, I would like to add one advantage. As the recession started, inflation also increases. So that the inflation means the drop in the value of the currency of that country, which means the import will increase from that country. Why? Because the what you can say, the item which was I was getting for say $100, 100 rupees. In the same case, it will go for what you can say as the price $1 equals to suppose 100 rupees. Now the $1 will increase this value to 150, 160, so that he can buy more things from that as well, and which ultimately increases the import of the company as a import of the country as well.
So we have a good discussion till now, and we reached to the good conclusion after having a good discussion. Some of the points my friends tell by Hemant is by recession, there is increase in the price, and there is an increase in the interest rate of the bank, and because of that there are many people that are not able to afford it. And the Swarnima says that because of the world war, Russian war, there are because it is also impacting to the recessions. And other also says that because of COVID, during COVID, some companies are working on, many companies are working online, and they are making profit, and they have no expenses like office expenses and or rent expenses, any else. After COVID, they have to be at the same place for their profit, in their profit, so they are doing recessions. And others also saying that if we learn new upcoming new skills and new technologies that with the AI also, that it reduces the chance of recessions and take you at the positive steps. And other Hemant also pointed out the point that if a recession also gives the new challenge, new advantages of startups, and good financial conditions or to the many peoples.
Anyone anything else left to say? Done? Right. Now listen to the things. First of all, it was a little improvement was stated. Hemant, you had a massive improvement today, right? Your pointers were really good at the start, that amongst all, if I would judge it out today, the star one, it was yours point, right? And everyone might agree with it also, because when Somlya started, Somlya, you had a very good start. You started with the meaning, why it occurred at COVID point, whom have fallen, then you just went to a very abrupt ending. What happened? We're not able to figure out the point later on.
Basically, I noted some. So, and then when I started to say, I think that I mainly had to say about the profit and the job cut type of that is slashing the workforce type of thing. So
That is what actually happens when you go for too long pointers. Two longer pointers have very good start, but when you come to an ending, it becomes so abrupt that your entire pointer gets at a minus level, right? So whenever you have an introduction, go for a, you can say either write it down that you have to start with introduction, write your point complete, and then summarize it accordingly. That according to my viewpoint. See, today I gave you a topic recession where I've not added any dimension that how to overcome recession. It was all on your charts that wherever you want to take it, or whatever the dimensions you have to take about it, right? So one good pointer, first of all, say about Hemant, before I move to anyone else. Hemant, the pointers were really good, where you mentioned that recession is not only about one thing, like it's not only one dimension about the employment, it is about production also. It about number of 3-4 perspectives are there in recession. And what we actually count is job layoffs, that's all. We don't count anything else apart from it. But then when the skill dimension was added, I think it was added, and you told, it was added by, I think, Vaskar, right? Vaskar told about the skill development.
Yes, ma'am.
Pointer was good. What he wanted to say was that if you're being skilled, now no one pointed it out when Hemant told that, no, how can skill be when no other company is growing? There is economic crisis only. How can the skilled even be helpful or doing things? Then you have to lay off a point that, you know, that currently recession was mostly seen in online, or you can say in computer science, first of all, the layoffs were maximum.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Why?
Tech companies.
It was not in the offline services. Anyone could not counterpoint Hemant. Why? That was the biggest point. You are hearing from the layoffs from Google and all the online, because at that time, all the COVID times, everyone shifted to online medium. And there was so much online advancement, and they were not aware that once the layoffs will be there, right? So the recession was that time. If you're skilled, you are like, now you heard that time also you could answer it out to Hemant that Hemant, you are counting out this perspective that, but you know that if someone is good in Amazon or someone has acquired lots of years in Google, he has some skill. He could start his own business. He had some startup ideas. He can go into that direction. So why everyone is quiet and justifying his point? That point was wrong, entirely wrong of Hemant. Hemant, you had a good start, but then that point was completely wrong, because either if it is about your pointer, the other person could have, Vaskar, you could have cut that point because it was your point. So there is something you lacked. Okay, so be attentive that your dimension should be very open, and everyone knows Google ki news, Instagram ki news, kyun kisi ne koi nahi bola? Why everyone was so quiet? Aditi, why were you quiet today? Only 1-2 pointers maximum. What was the reason? Manish ne start kiya. Manish, you started giving a point, then you forgot what happened in between. भूल गए थे point के point बन नहीं रहा था.
मैम जो बोलने का तो पहले सब जन बोल रहे हैं, अभी उसमें ऐड क्या कर सकते हैं इसमें?
See, everyone, this would happen in that situation also. Now you're countering out different perspectives that one person. Now Shivam, you were telling me yesterday that ma'am, I think Shivam was there, 8 minutes की अगर GD होगी तो उसमें कैसे पॉइंटर जस्टिफाई करेंगे? उसमें स्टार पॉइंटर्स मिल गए. हेमंत का स्टार था. Day before yesterday was not even doing good. I won't say that Hemant was very good. At that time, I was counting between Aditi and Swarnima. Today, Swarnima was also average. Swarnima, your 2-3 pointers were actually good when you started about Russia-Ukraine war. That was a good point which you actually rose it out, and you gave a new dimension which no one actually spoke on. That was a great one of yours. And then you started. Later on, you were just inclined towards others, like layoffs ho gaye, ye ho gaye. Phir sabka normal point.
No, ma'am, I gave then housing, and then I gave the impact on common man, but no one was going in that.
But no one discussed. Yeah, so you had to give your. When se bola tha, no one is getting to discuss about it. You complete your point. When Hemant completed, he completed his entire point. That it is a new dimension. That complete layoffs are there. That common man, he suffered a lot during that time. So what actually happened? He has to shift his areas. He has to move from different dimensions. You could have spoken that point complete. And I told you, I am writing all the points, whichever person is getting the star. Vaskar got the star for his skill development point, right? Hemant got the star for his inflation and that recession point. You got a star for your this Russia-Ukraine war. Soumya had a very good start, but then I told you about his abrupt ending. And the negative point about Soumya is, Soumya, you give very elaborative points. They're very quite elaborative. You have to shorten your ideas. You have to be precise and concise in your these answers. Diti, I don't know why. What was the reason today that you were not speaking at all? Shivam, your this AI point, it was good. That today you were very good, that you were mixing it also. Though I won't say that the content was very good, but still better than the last 2 days. Okay, artificial intelligence you mentioned, that is okay. You mentioned your point that due to artificial intelligence, this is happening. Though Hyman countered that point also, that it's not much relevant. And that was good. You can have your own perspective. You felt that artificial intelligence can be one reason, but Heyman could not feel it out. So that is a perspective where group discussion, and that was the good pointers of both of you. So that was all where all you four were there who were actually discussing good today. Bhaskar, Savarnima, Hemant, and Shivam, who got content-related valid points. Soumya, the negative only on the, you can say, long points. Manish, you could not precise your points. Speak in between you. I think you try to speak, raise your confidence. First of all, in between you try to stop in 2-3 parts. And second time also when you started speaking about the layoffs and all that, I thought that actually went out. Aditi, you mentioned about budget, right?
No, ma'am.
Who mentioned about the budget? Manish was there or Aditi was there?
Myself.
Manish, right? Manish, what were you talking about the budget? I could not understand that point.
Ma'am, they are. I was just adding that they are helping to counter the recession by diversifying the budget or adding new dimensions to the budget.
It's not much relevant because it would go a bit digress towards the other direction. Budget and all that वो थोड़ा different हो जाएगा. इससे अच्छा है कि आप recession की मेन क्रैक्स की बात करो, ओवरकमिंग की बात करो, करंट एग्जांपल्स की बात करो. ये तो तीनों मैंने हेडिंग्स पहले ही बता दी थी, इस पे बात कर लो. आपको तो मैंने डायरेक्शन दी थी.
Ma'am, can we talk on disinvestments in PSUs, loss making PSUs?
It can be, but with very factual details if you have. It should not be a counter one because you are giving an interview and there you are even giving your perspective. It can go as a controversial one. So that is why I don't regard you out. But with factual hand, you have a very thorough point. What actually happened that you could. Now you could point about the Google and all that. Facebook पे point किसने किया था? I think Facebook का दिया था, Shivam ने दिया था. Yeah. So Shivam told about Facebook. So there you could add, Aditi, you could add points on the Google also. Massive layoffs, you could discuss about it. तब क्यों नहीं डिस्कस किया? और स्वर्णिमा ने layoff का डिस्कस किया. मेरे को लगता है 5-6 जानों की बारी के बाद डिस्कस किया.
मैम layoffs मेरा था, मैं बोल रही थी layoff कर रहे हैं पर यार कॉमन मैन पे भी तो आ जाओ कि वो क्या फील कर रहे हैं, वो कैसे करेंगे, बट कोई इंटरेस्टेड ही नहीं था. ओके, हाउसिंग सेक्टर.
Just I say you prove your point, justify your point. Okay, give your regard, your dimension. Each and every point is getting noticed. Like I'm noting each and every point who is giving good pointers. If you are wrong, that point would be eliminated also. So you have to give yourself a chance. I am very much happy with Shivam today. He was, though Shivam conclusion was not very good. Okay, so conclusion should be, you actually forgot, Hemant spoke this and that. You have to talk at the end also, no? It should be like at the end, we had a healthy discussion about recession and we got to know that recession does not lie on one dimension. It is not only about layoffs, it's about the production decrease and many other perspectives are being taken into account. And we even try to discuss how can we overcome this recession period and prepare for a better future. So it was a good discussion and we had, you can say, wonderful ones and the participation was there and Hemant gave this point and that point. So that you could discuss, right?
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
Yeah, Bhaskar?
मैम अगर मेरा पॉइंट्स कोई मेरे से पहले बोल रहा है तो हाउ टू टैकल दैट सिचुएशन?
That thing I
मैम मेरा पॉइंट मेरे बाद भी बोला जाता है.
हाँ, बाद में बोला जाता है, no worries. आपका पहले काउंटर है. If you are speaking about Facebook, artificial intelligence, your point is weightage. I told you that is about attentiveness. Bhaskar, if someone spoke your point before, someone would speak it in their way, right? Suppose someone talk about, let's talk about some youths can say, you talked about COVID and overhiring, right? You talked about this at the very start. Overhiring was there and sending emails. एक ये चीज गलत थी आपकी Bhaskar. When you told about you were speaking the email also. That don't start reading the mails, what was actually being written over there.
Okay.
You don't have to tell about it. Now, that is your descriptive way of speaking. Others' descriptive way of speaking would be different. If someone even starts it out, you think you target at that very time and go for some example. Go for live description of your own.
Ma'am, that means I can speak that point in different way.
Yeah, you can. At that very moment, but that you agree with someone's point, that when you started that, Soumya, I agree with your points and coming, you can say, extending towards the causes, the other causes of recession can be this and that. So of course, that is an extension only. And you gave your point also and you justified your existence also. So that is what you actually have to do. Okay. So whenever it would happen, number of times someone would speak your points. But you don't have to be, you have to be ready for that situation. You have to give your examples. I always say, go for more examples. Everyone misses the examples. I don't know why. You all are, you could have told this thing also. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and every day we are getting some kind of a, you can say, notification or emails or screenshots of some person that you could discuss in layoff period. Production may, what is the, you can say, lessening amount of production, no one discussed. Hemant, if you started also about the production and all that, why did you take it to the other level? You could have, if no one is rooting on that cause.
मैम किसी ने काउंटर किया, जैसे हेमंत ने किया कि एआई पे जॉब नहीं जाएगी, बट उन्होंने इतना ही बोल के रहने दिया. मतलब लाइक उसका मतलब मैं अगेन क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता हूँ कि आप ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हैं?
Justified. Actually, Hemant's point was justified. You gave your point that artificial intelligence is trying to, you can say, overlap that ideas. But it is actually a supportive tool which is meant, and nothing can replace humans as of now. So it would always be a supportive one. If you agree with that point, so you could justify, yeah, Hemant, I agree to that point. But right now I felt that some of the burden would be lessened, or humans would be at the part of, it would cause some of the opportunities of humans. Like the calculators, they got replaced by computers or something. Then you have to be very active and think about logical ideas and cut Hemant's point. So that is your up to extract, na? How much confidently you go and how much attentive you are at that point. If you're just thinking, मेरा कौन सा next point है, मैंने क्या बोलना है, उस चक्कर में तुम लोग का क्या रहता है, तुम अपना भी नहीं बोल पाते हो और दूसरे का point भी नहीं सुनते हो, और तुम्हें 10 मिनट बाद याद आता है कि भाई मेरा भी तो point था, ये तो बंदा बोल ही चुका है. That actually happens with you. Everyone is so concentrated in their points. What you have to see, when everyone keeps quiet, then you speak your point. Even that has an impact. Okay. So Manish and Aditi, next, tomorrow the GD would be there. I want one of you to introduce and one of you to end it out. Because I don't want quiet ones. Manish, be confident. The main thing which is missing in you is the confidence level. So I want you to be the sparking one and speak it with a great confidence and even a little loud. In GDs, you need to be a little loud. You cannot be very sweet and a very calm person. You cannot be like that. Though you don't need to be very shout and vigorous also in that extent, but very subtle in every way. Okay. So Manish, you are heading on the GD tomorrow and you don't have to miss it out. That, yeah, I have to head it out, so I will miss it. Okay. You have to be attentive. And Shivam, it was wonderful that whatever you're trying to overcome it out, that was great on your part. Hemant, a good applause to you. You did massively great today. But don't counter the points which you really feel that that were logical. Skill development की सिवाय क्या बोलोगे फिर? थोड़ा सा उसमें diplomatic. Whenever you cut someone's point, na, be diplomatic. So don't forget to be diplomatic. Do not put only one constraint. That is my constraint and I am bounding myself in one dimension. You have to be very flexible, welcome other ideas also, and make changes in other ideas. That is group discussion. You don't agree, that is okay, but you have to say that some part of it I don't agree, but adding to your perspective, I have this point. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
like I had one doubt that I said that housing also is a effect that has happened. It's an effect. So one person said that now let's not discuss effects. Now let's discuss how can we overcome it and what can we do. So ma'am, in this situation, how?
It would be like, suppose someone says like this. So you can say that I want to put a limelight before we move to effects. That person would say, you know, so sorry to you can say intervene. Before you move forward, I just want to put a little limelight before concluding the effects and all that section. That this is also a concerned topic, and I think that has a major issue. So you have to stop that person, and you have to be. Someone would not. You guys are very humble. What I felt about you guys all, that you're giving chance to each other. Okay, you speak, you speak. At that time, maybe in the finals, you don't even get the chance to speak. It would be your turn that I want my turn. Okay, there will be a fighting. You are fighting for a job. So you understand the kind of the eagerness would be there, the curiosity would be there. And you have to develop between you. And you don't have to be giving a chance. Last time, Shivam's problem last 2 days were he was not even giving chance. But today he was giving chance also and he was giving his pointers also. That is some improvement which I saw. And that is what is needed. Okay, so Aditi, be ready for tomorrow. Okay, we'll give a topic of your choice. as we did of theirs. Okay, so see, this was we discussed some of the economic issues and all that. We have gone through some educational sectors also, so we will discuss different dimension. What is do you want to go for some imaginative dimension tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Welcome. That it's going to be a little tough. I have kept for 1-2 days. That there you need to portray lots of your ideas. Okay, when you are into imagination and all that, what would happen if this was there, or some of these issues that I will discuss tomorrow with you. So we'll slowly move towards difficult topics. Now, last 5 minutes, whenever I'm going to end the class, brainstorm your ideas. Like we have done 4 or 5 topics so far. What are the topics? Now you're able to think about it, jot down your ideas. Don't think that I did massively good today, I did massively bad today. Whatever happened, it's gone. Now you have to think, like Swarnima gave me this point, why I could not think about it. Hemant gave, if Somalia gave, Shivam gave, why I could not write about this point, right? So whichever point you missed, that is bad on your part. And whichever point they gave, that is good on their part. Okay? So you have to justify each and every one point. Note, make your notes, prep your notes, very important. Any doubts to anyone? Boost your confidence, Somalia. Yeah.
Ma'am, so if I want to shorten, ma'am, basically I can say the keywords and just a bit of explanation will do. If I
Yeah,
am just
it would be like, first you gave at the very start, you talked about like, hi everyone. So today we have a discussion, healthy discussion on a recession period, right? Or something about recession. So first we need to understand the meaning of recession. You understood the meaning of recession in a brief. Okay, so the major, according to me, the major impact of recession was brought post-COVID terminologies or after COVID, after 2020. And then you told whom have fallen abrupt. That was not needed. You have to precise your point कि 2-3 चीजें बोलो आप अपने starting में. किस चीज पे आप पूरी introduction को पूरी you can say पूरी discussion को move करना चाहते हो. Do you want to discuss who are the people who got affected by recession? When a recession actually occurred? What is the meaning of recession? You are the ruler at that time. Introductory person is actually the ruler. He can set the boundaries of discussion. Okay, so you have to justify. Only give 2-3 basic points. And that too very brief. That according to me, recession took place after post-COVID and it had a huge negative impact on you can say job opportunities, production level. And right now I'm going to discuss that. I'm going to state my point on who were actually affected on the you can say recession period. It were the technocrats, were it the you can say scientists, who were actually affected. Think about that and start your discussion. You are to lead that point. So leading should be very massively great. Okay. और ये एडवांटेज भी है, डिसएडवांटेज भी है. डिसएडवांटेज है अगर गलत स्टार्ट कर दो, एडवांटेज है अपना बेस्ट पॉइंट रख सकते हो आप अपने पास, है ना. अपना पॉइंट तभी बोल सकते हो, एक टेंशन नहीं रहेगी आपके माइंड में कि मैंने बाद में बोलना है. ओके, किसी को कोई और डाउट? भास्कर एंड सोमलिया were there for the first time. You had any doubts? All solved?
No.
No, not solved or solved?
No, ma'am, no doubt. I am telling.
Okay, yeah. Manish, go ahead.
Ma'am, what will be the timing?
Timing for?
Tomorrow's day.
Tomorrow it will be in the afternoon.
Why? Because I have a full mock, ma'am, at 3:30.
When is your full mock?
3:30.
3:30 उससे पहले होगी, don't worry. या उसके बाद रखेंगे, कोई बात नहीं. You attend your mock, you have to give the introduction. You don't have to excuse it out. Okay? ठीक है? Chalo, all the best everyone. We'll meet tomorrow. And Aditi, be prepared. Okay? Chalo, all the best. Take care.